Alright, this is possession cage match, so literally possession on every board. Let's see what we got on board one. Okay, I didn't change my ban list. I just kept it the same. I thought if other people want to change their ban list to like ban mask and stuff, that's up to them. But you know what? I don't want to play with stupid cards, so I kept my usual ban list. Oh, it looks like Supernick has possession on their ban list because you can see it's in this list here. But if you force require a card, it ignores ban lists, so that's why it's in the game. We have the 3/4 here, so we can't open Silk Militia, but that's okay. We can just open Silver, and then we can decide about Militia or Silk. Militia seems a bit better, just because the hand size attack is good early before they can get the trashing down, and especially because the trashing is stuff like Cemetery or hitting 5 for replace. The hand size attack really stops them. Okay, this hand, I think I'll just buy Crop Rotation. Crop Rotation's not great with OE, but actually no, Crop Rotation's just so bad. It's not really saving my next hand, right? Then what if the OE bottom decks? But then I get it the next turn. I could just take Count. Count is the best trashing here. Count is better than Replace because I can't replace an estate into Cemetery because they're shelters instead of estates. That makes this board a bit annoying. I think I just have to take Count here, and then I can take Replace next 5. Okay, this hand is a no-buy, so pretty terrible draws so far. And the bad split. Also, being P2 doesn't help. So, not a great start. Okay, Silk Merchant. So we get our Villager. So if we draw Count and Militia, we can play them both. Of course, we bottom deck Count, so these draws are really not cooperating at all. The only draw here is Silk and Ghost. So Ghost does seem pretty important. Okay, they're going straight for provinces. So if they don't get Replace, Possession isn't like too strong against them. But I'm still just going to get Replace here. Maybe I can trash a card someday. Okay, this is good. Fortunately, Count can't ever give me a ghost because it trashes the hand, but that's okay. Okay, this draw is pretty awful. I can discard 2 and trash hand, but ghost is just like, it's the only village here besides, actually there's Procession. I missed Procession. But I am going to just go ahead and do this. And this will be to duck it, trashing the copper. And do we want to spend the copper to get a silver? No, we don't. So the draws are really not cooperating. A bit unfortunate. Yeah, and the ducat gets top decked, so this is pretty much expected. Okay, Possession is good against them if they're just going to stockpile coffers and villagers, so there's that hope. This is just another Silk Merchant. Alright, now this shuffle, I can think about getting the potion. Like this hand here can just be potion. But I would like to trash a lot more cards than I have, but these draws are really not cooperating. Crop rotation is... I wish there were estates, then crop rotation and replace would be so much better. But you gotta make do with what's on the kingdom. Okay, so they go for the potion now. Question is, do I play the Necropolis before the Silk Merchant? So I know the Count is down there. The Militia is not down there. The Replace is not down there. There is a second Silk Merchant down there. So I do think it's worse to play the Necropolis. Okay, but this is the bad case where it wasn't good to play the Necropolis. Okay, we're going to top deck the Ducat, not because the Ducat is this much better than a copper, but because we do gain the Villager. Okay, we can replace the Silk Merchant to Groundskeeper and just ghost it to draw cards. And then if we draw the potion, we should hit possession. Yeah, and then rebuy the Silk Merchant. And play the Ghost the Groundskeeper, just as a cantrip. And yeah, we have the Silk Merchant here, so we're guaranteed to draw the potion. Okay, Silk Merchant. And Militia. Alright, then what are we doing with a count? Anything useful? Do we want to top deck anything? No. So we're just discarding 2 and getting the coins, and then seeing if we want to buy another Silk Merchant, which we probably do because it's Silk Merchant. You always want to buy Silk Merchants. Alright. Use your coffers, and buy Possession and Silk. So they still don't have a replace or a count. So Possession isn't great against their deck, but it does take extra turns, which is always a good thing. Unfortunately, Groundskeeper is not Goons, so it does not counter Possession. I mean, you can think about it as like a soft counter, but it's definitely not a hard counter. Alright, play the GK here, and we'll buy another Possession, and hopefully we can ghost Possession. Ghosting Possession is, of course, fantastic. Alright, maybe this is enough possessions, and now we should start adding Groundskeepers. Do I want a Procession in the deck? Procession is good on Silk Merchant, and that's it, but I have enough Silks in the deck that is probably fine. We Ghost Replace, so I guess we're killing... We can top deck proc Silk if we killed these two. I think I'm gonna do that. Mostly because this count is really bad. Not that the replace is fantastic either, but the replace is good. Like on the last turn, you can turn possessions to provinces. Okay, proc the Silk here. This will draw our possession, guaranteed. Yep. Groundskeeper, because we don't want a second replace. We definitely don't want the count back. The count is really bad. Groundskeeper. Possession. Possession. Do I want to play the Silk Merchant? What's down there? There is a silver. There's a ducat. There's a potion. So the potion means I can buy another possession. And the militia. Okay. Actually, was the potion not down there? Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't trigger the shuffle last turn, so there actually wasn't a potion down there, but that's fine. So actually the militia play was bad because I'm taking their turn and I ran out of villagers, but that's fine. We'll just buy 2 more Silk Merchants. Alright, and now I guess 1 gold will be fine for palace points, and then I want Groundskeepers and Groundskeepers in green. So I can get the gold here and not play the militia. Which I think it's pretty good to not play the militia because my hand is not great. Okay, take the gold. And now this turn we'll use the coffers and the villager. Oh, we can't use the villager. Ah. Unfortunately, the game is not letting us use the villager. So that is annoying. But that's okay. Why did I not get VP for the gold? Oh, I did trash my silver. Whoops. Alright, well, let's get the silver back then. Okay, yeah, their deck is pretty bad because they were buying dry ducats, not trashing coppers, so their hands are going to be pretty bad. So I do have some time to get my deck going, but it's obviously not fantastic either. Groundskeeper, possession. They don't have a possession yet, so they're not going to be able to steal my coffers, and I'm not going to use so many just to get a groundskeeper. Okay, that's a nice proc silk hand to start with. Let's see what they have. Okay, their hands are still not great. Okay, let's use those and get a groundskeeper. Rebuild is also really bad against possession because it can just like straight up gain provinces instead of having to mill one. So they can try to end the game by getting a rebuild, but it's not great. Replaces also has the same issue. So at this point, I don't think they'll get a replace either. Groundskeeper, groundskeeper. Just kill this to a groundskeeper and play the possession. Alright, and now we can start greening with our deck. Ideally we get like a couple cemeteries so we trash some cards because the deck is not great. We only played one possession, so we're not playing the ghost here. This shuffle is not great to trigger because there are a lot of good cards here, so I'm just going to discard the silks and just play militia, no buy nothing. I think that's correct. I don't want to buy the last groundskeeper because I just want to proc silk into it. I could buy silk, that's probably a fine buy. Yeah. There's no third pile for them to run, so it should be fine to take the silk and empty the pile. So I'm going to proc one silk into a groundskeeper, and then, yeah, proc the silk into a groundskeeper, play my possessions, get a cemetery this turn, hopefully. Should be able to get a pretty good cemetery. Like, looking at this hand, it'll already trash a lot. Okay, we can trash the necropolis, the hovel, and the coppers. Yeah, trash hovel, and then trash all of these. Again, we played one possession, so we're not going to play the ghost. And we're just going to buy nothing. Yeah, so like their province was way too early this game. Skipping possession seems reasonable if you're just going for straight groundskeeper, but it means you have to skip replace. You don't have to skip count, and militia is a soft counter to possession, but I still think building is correct on this board, whether you want to incorporate possession into that build or not. I don't have a opinion like not knowing how the game played out. I can see arguments for skipping possession here. Of course, I'm going for it because it's fun. Is this rebuild or replace so they still don't have a possession? Both of them are like equally good against possession. I'm going to take rebuild because replace is terminal and I just killed my necropolis. Let's just go ahead and take another cemetery trashing here. Then we take the points lead on their turn, so we don't have to worry about like some cemetery pile out. That's not going to happen. And then we can just buy some green. Okay, we possess them twice, so we can play the ghost here. That's fun. Always a cool interaction. Let's just go ahead and grab a duchy. Okay, unfortunately we don't want to play the militia here, but that's okay. And this can just be duchy estate, but I did, oh, never mind. I didn't play the militia, of course. Crop rotation doesn't do anything with my hand, plus it gives it to them and not me, so it's obviously not crop rotation. Let's just do duchy. Take the points lead, play this safe. Oh, they did get a replace at some point, okay. But they still don't have a possession, so our replace and rebuild are pretty safe. Are they going to try to drain ducats here? No, they just buy a cemetery. Let's process militia. And does this replace a rebuild? I think I'll take a rebuild. Like, I added a lot of green cards to my deck. Oh, I didn't realize that was still processing anyways. It's not an undo I can take. I have 2 cemeteries in there, so I'm just going to name duchy and kill the cemetery into a duchy. Oh, I don't have a... Did my cemetery trash my other cemetery? Oh, it did. I killed the cemetery and the province. That was pretty dumb. Just forgetting what's in my deck. Anyways, let's just take the province and take the points lead. Yeah, should be paying more attention to what's in my deck. Anyways, that rebuild reveal lets me know what's in my deck, so that's at least helpful. This turn we can just replace into green and buy green. Maybe even win, but that seems more unlikely. Okay, play possession. Replace curse into estate. Because we don't want any garbage top decked. Do we take crop rotation here? There aren't that many green cards in my deck. But I'm up by enough VP and possessing them that I think I just want the deck control for safety. I do draw a green card in my starting hand, so that's good. Okay, so you can just use a villager at the start of the turn, so I should have done that the other time, but I didn't realize, and it's not an undo I can take there, so it's okay. Alright, and this is a good starting hand. Triple Cemetery costs 12, 5 Estates costs 10, but more buys. We're proccing Silk Merchant, so that's 3 buys there. Then we can also Possession. Possession is like a plus buy. Okay, there's Rebuild here. Okay, we drew our only cemetery. So there's a duchy in the discard pile. We bought a cemetery, though, right? We just bought a cemetery. So I'm just going to go ahead and name duchy. And should go into the discard pile and... Okay. So to win, we'd gain a cemetery here. Proc the Silk Merchant, play the possession, buy cemetery on our turn, buy cemetery on their turn. Seems pretty likely. Don't want to trash. Okay, yeah, this is trivial win now. Assuming either of their turns is useful. Just take a state here. Yeah, so pretty bad early draws, but I don't think they had the right game plan for this game. And they greened way too early with like that turn 6 province or whatever it was. So we were able to win. Alright, they started game 1, so I'm going to start game 2. Any fun interactions? There's rebuild again. Is this just straight rebuild? Because there's no trashing. It's actually Ig also. This is a horrible board. I don't know like where all the engine cards are, but they're not here. So this is looking pretty straight rebuild possession Skippy. Gonna open Shanty Silver. Get rebuilds, maybe some Igs, and skip possession. Is a second Shantytown good in this deck? I think it is. Because Shantytown works pretty well with rebuild. Rebuild's non-terminal and everything. So it's a nice interaction. The question is, they're shuffling next turn. Is Ig better than rebuild on this buy? Or are we skipping Ig altogether? I think I'll take Ig here. Also, it helps you hit 5, while rebuild doesn't help you hit 5. But on future 5s, I think I'll take rebuild. Of course, like the whole shuffle management thing matters. I don't want a farmer's market yet. It's pretty bad. Do I want to slay? Slay's bad with Shantytown. The reaction doesn't really do anything with no mid-turn gainers. Rebuild, I mean, Courtier is a mid-turn gainer, but I'm not going to be playing with Courtier because it doesn't, Ig isn't a 2-typer. And rebuild does gain cards mid-turn, but it's not useful with it, so no to slay. The question is this another silver, or this is a third Shantytown, or is it just a farmer's market? I think it's too early for the farmer's market. I'm just going to take another silver. I do, of course, want the good farmer's market plays, but those aren't coming too soon. Okay, they got another farmer's market, so they're going full-on farmer's market fun. They are about to shuffle. I could just take a second Ig. Yeah, it's fine. This is such a sad kingdom. Okay, they're also going for Igs. This will be a rebuild. Sorry. Okay, Merchant are horrible in these decks. Okay, I think I'll summon Farmer's Market here. No copper, no copper. Although we are about to trigger a shuffle, so rebuild would be straight in the shuffle. Yeah, let's just take a second rebuild. Mountain Pass is when you buy a province or when you gain a province? Gain a province, okay. Okay, so Salt Mountain Pass is the funny interaction. We have to draw here. Okay, we draw another one of these. Okay, so the Mountain Pass bidding will happen on a pretty early turn. So that's pretty funny. Let's see what they bid. I do have the 2 rebuilds in my deck, so I can do some stuff while I have the debt. They bid 12. Do I want to take 13? It seems a bit too steep. Yeah, like you could just be buying rebuilds and gaining VP that way. Yeah, I'm gonna give them the debt here. 12 was probably a good bid from them, though. Let's go ahead and summon a farmer's market here. Okay, we draw our other one. So we can just go ahead, get the money, and get the VP here. Like, that's 4 VP of the 8 VP for Mountain Pass, right? That's just so much that we're getting. Meanwhile, they're still in debt, and we're still buying cards. Buying cards is something you generally want to be doing. Okay, so is this rebuild farmer's market? Is this summon shanty? No, summoning shanty is pretty bad. I think this is just rebuild farmer's market, or is it rebuild shantytown? I think I'll just take a farmer's market. Like, how am I supposed to lose this game? I have the better deck and more VP right now. Like, if they somehow just get farmer's market miracles, I don't know. I don't think it's losable from this position. Of course, I'm sure there are ways, but it seems quite unlikely. No copper, please. They need a no copper autoplay. In fact, I shouldn't have even played that because I was just buying a 5 anyway. Okay, that's a lot of revealing before we get to the estates. And right now we have 2 duchies and a province. Potion? Okay. I still don't think it's very reliable for anybody to be hitting 6 potion on this board. Maybe with the farmer's market you can, but I guess at this point I'm just trying to junk up their deck as much as I can. So let's just go ahead and take an Ig and a Shantytown. Okay, they do manage to draw their farmer's market there, but they don't hit 6 potion, whereas if I hadn't played my previous farmer's market, they would have had the money to hit 6 potion. So I think I'm just going to try to pile out on Ig's curses duchies here. So you can make an argument that I should take an estate soon, so I can start rebuilding that to duchy, but I can just name province and turn duchy to duchy. It's fine. Junking up their deck so they're less likely to hit 6 potion and less likely to draw their possession, and also it drains piles. I think that's the correct thing to be doing in this situation. I just need to make sure I'm still up on VP. I'm not up by that much right now. Okay, maybe farmer's market will be the 3rd pile at this rate. Okay, this duchy will go to a province. We'll play the shantytown. Play this rebuild. Now our last duchy will go to a province. And do we buy the estate here? Do we buy a farmer's market? I think we buy the estate. Yeah, definitely don't need to buy a farmer's market if we're not drawing like in the slightest. Just take the points at this rate. Okay, we're up 6 VP. The next farmer's market play doesn't give VP. I think it's safe to take an Ig here. We can also summon farmer's market on a future turn, although I'm not decided on whether the final pile is going to be duchies or farmer's market. Okay, they buy a duchy here, so that makes duchies more likely. Again, I'm still up a lot of VP. There's pretty much no way they can win on their next turn. So I'm just going to buy another Ig into this shuffle. Both their shuffle and my shuffle are coming up. Yeah, they're not hitting 6 potion in these decks. This will hit the estate, turn it into a duchy. I'm not hitting 10. Right? 4, 8, 9. I'm hitting 9, unfortunately. But I can just go ahead and buy another province. Okay, that's a lot of revealed cards. So we mill our whole deck there, but there was the estate, so I am tracking better this game. Oh, I guess we didn't need that last copper, but that's okay. But yeah, we were one off a win there. We're up 13 VP, so we should be fine. Yeah, look at all the curses in their deck. Very unfortunate for them, but that's why I didn't go for possession on this board. It's too sloggy. Eggs just junk up both players' decks. Yeah, eggs junk up both players' decks. Rebuild is a fast strategy that punishes the slow possession deck. There's no trashing. The draw's bad. That was a pretty clear possession skip. All right, so it'll be their start for game 3. Hopefully we can get like a proper drawing village kingdom type thing. Okay, this is Cultist. So it's looking like another possession skip. I don't see a village on the board. There is sewers for trashing with develop or dismantle. Are they going to open dismantle sewers? Dismantle sewers, huh? How is that going to do versus just pure cultist? Man, what is on their ban list? Okay, so on their ban list, they have Legionary and Possession that I don't. On their dislike list, they have Transmute, Cut Purse, Embargo Jester, Innovation Citygate. Man, so they don't ban like Cultist and other stuff. Unfortunate. I think Develop Sewers is fine to get thin quickly, but then you don't really have payload. You can just buy an Overlord. Is there any reason for this to not be Cultist? Not really. Like, there's trashing, but Cultist is the draw here. There's no village. So how are you planning on drawing and then playing your possession? I think this is going to be a Cultist first. Rush Cultist, get all the garbage in their deck, because Dismantle is not a good ruin trasher at all. And then later on, if we're still dreaming, we can add other actions, but most likely not, because other actions don't play well with Cultist. And capitalism here, absolutely fantastic. It makes Abandoned Mine a copper, and it makes Scavenger non-terminal. So OP. Okay, so they are actually trashing fairly quickly with this Dismantle Sewers thing. I guess they're not really trashing, they're just turning Estate to gold, so it's basically like Dismantle plus Sewers is basically just transmute, which is pretty pathetic. Okay, just add another Cultist. It's good to buy 4 Cultists on your 4 turns after the opening and then see them all on 1 turn. We'll just play them all here, buy 1 more Cultist, and then yeah, buy gold, silvers, and provinces. Okay, the question is this gold or Cultist? There are 4 ruins in the supply. There will be 4 cultists in my deck, and they have a cultist, so the next cultist won't be handing out any ruins, so I think it's gold. Fortunately, there's no crude here to teach us how to play cultist, but I think we'll manage. Is this a sewers, or is this just a silver? Are we adding any trashers to our deck? Again, all the trashers are terminal, which means the cultist will just draw them dead. Which means this is just a silver, and silver is good in cultist decks. You want golds, cultists, silvers, and provinces. That's all you want. Okay, so I will end up getting 1 ruin, and they will end up getting 9. Yeah, the problem with not going for cultist early here is like, sure, you have this dismantle in your deck, and you think, oh, dismantle, it can trash. But then when you play your cultist, you could draw the dismantle dead, right? So that was my fear. I think this is a second gold and then provinces. Oh, my limited experience with cultist. Okay. I don't know what potion is doing for you in these decks. Again, this is just cultist junky, and the possession deck has no draw, no village. Okay, so they have 2 provinces, so I'm going to start greening now. I mean, the dismantle is fine. It actually does some work early. The only issue is that cultists can draw it dead. That's why I skipped it. Okay, they don't even trash another card with sewers there, which is interesting. I'm not sure what their hand could be if they're going to be doing that. Maybe like potion, cultist, and some other stuff. Doesn't matter. We're just going on our own game plan. Now there's the question, is silver better than nothing? And yes, it is. Silver helps you hit 8. And these decks just want to hit 8 and end the game. On the next shuffle, we can think about not buying silver and buying like Duchy on 5. Although 5 could also just be cultist. Oh, see, so they hit 5 potion, but like even if you hit 6 potion, what are you doing? Buys a transmute. Okay. Okay, so is this Duchy or is this cultist? We draw our abandoned mines. I was thinking about capitalism, but no need for capitalism when we draw our abandoned mine this turn. I think since we have the starting estates, the VP parity makes it so that I'm going to buy a cultist here. Because if they get 3 of the remaining provinces and I get 1, I'm not beating that. So if they touch duchies, I will. But if they're not going to touch duchies, then I see no need to. Okay, even on the hands you have 8, you're supposed to play your cultists. Because if you have good cards in your hand, your deck is more likely to have bad cards, so you want to draw the bad cards. Okay, so transmute gains them a duchy there. So I can think about buying duchy on a later turn now. Now that I've triggered this shuffle, the duchies become much less bad for my deck because I'm not going to be getting around to them, am I? Yeah, I'm not going to. The question is this estate? Do I buy estate? I don't think I need to buy estate because let's say they take a province. I'm going to hit at least 5, and even if I hit estate, okay, I'll just buy the estate. And then if they hit another province, I still win. In fact, I'm also player 2, so I don't even need that estate in that scenario. Just buy the duchy here, and we haven't seen any of our golds or our cultists, so we'll be pretty likely to hit 8 on these upcoming hands. And again, we're like approaching half VP almost. Not quite, but we're approaching it. So it seems unusable at this point. Yeah, so again, maybe dismantle is fine in theory, but the problem is you can't play with the dismantles and cultists. And cultists aren't great when your opponent only gets half the ruins and then they can trash them and build a good deck. Like at that point, you don't want to go cultist money. But because the rest of the kingdom didn't really support an engine, this has to just be cultist money. So yeah, cultist, very oppressive card. Sometimes you just have games like that where you have to just go straight up cultist. Okay. Unfortunately, cultist is not an attack for those of you who want to stop it with your page. So too bad. Monument is a counter to cultist. There's Trader Changeling here, which is good trashing. I do think I'm going to open Monument page and get a trader later, probably. Also, I noticed somebody had friended me and I had not added them back, so let's add JC Thrust there. Okay, Border Guard. Are they opening Border Guard page? That doesn't sound great to me. If we see a page turn 3, we can play it as Way of the Squirrel. We don't. But this is fine. So the question is this second page or is this Border Guard? I think this is just Border Guard. Like Way of the Squirrel is draw here. I guess there's Native Village for pseudo trashing. So you can just pick up a native village. Yeah, native village sounds fine. Is it better than border guard though? What's the plus buy on this board? It's just Trader Changeling is the only plus buy. So Monument gains VP and then Possession is plus buy. So with no plus buy, native villages, like it's hard to get a bunch of them. One native village isn't that great, so I think I'll just take the border guard. That's the issue with native village. Okay, this will have to be... I guess I can just play this monument straight up and buy a trader. Man, it's unfortunate that we bottom deck the page, but nothing could be done about that with these draws. Squirrel versus not is a tough choice here. The other option was Squirrel and buy border guard, but I do think Trader's a lot better with Changeling on the board. Of course, Squirrels only draw once we get our champion in play, so maybe I should have thought, okay, we want to get our champion in play as quickly as possible. Let's just add border guards to the deck and Squirrel it. Yeah, so I can understand that being a misplay, but that's okay. It's too late now. Okay, and with this hand, Trader just straight up whiffs. So I think we'll Squirrel one. We'll Squirrel the Trader, and then buy a border guard. Yeah, just getting the champion quickly is more important than anything else. So playing the monument and buying Trader was a mistake, but it's better to admit it and just do the correct game plan as quickly as you can. Question now is, when do we get the potion? Off the hero gain sounds too late because Squirrel kind of helps you spike a price point. Treasure Hunter, we can just weigh it. This will be Lantern, because then we trigger the shuffle. Actually, Squirrel would trigger the shuffle regardless, but that's okay. Okay, so they gained one card, so I'd be taking 1 silver, and then I could also play Trader as Squirrel. I guess I'll make it be a Changeling, Trader as Squirrel, and just buy another border guard. Oh, also native village is very bad against possession, because if they possess you and they play your native village, they can like put all the junk back into your deck, have a big turn, and then you're stuck with all the stuff later on, which is bad. Yeah. So glad I didn't take the native village. Okay, take the warrior, play the border guard, take the copper, play the warrior, take the potion here, and Changeling for a border guard. No Trader, I don't want it. Why do you think I would have bought a potion instead of a Changeling or a silver if I wanted a Changeling or a silver? Unfortunate, these prompts, but it is what it is. Okay, we draw our potion here. I think 6 potion is going to be a little difficult without the champion in play. Like, we can't play our monument and hero on the same turn. But I didn't expect to draw the potion this early. Maybe I could have just waited to get it off the hero gain, but that's okay. The hero can just gain a Changeling. So it's not like I'll be forced to take too many yellow cards. Okay, just take the border guard here. Now this one will take a copper, and we'll Squirrel the hero and just buy a border guard. Alright, and once we have champion in play, we can use Squirrel for draw. I've never understood why Champion is a duration card and has no below-the-line effect. Like, shouldn't the attack protection be below the line? Then, like, you can't bonfire it away, but, like, of course, that's a super random scenario that's not really going to happen in real games. But just a funny one to think about. The question is, do I Squirrel this border guard? Because I don't want to draw the potion. I think I'll Squirrel it and just add the monument. Yeah, so I could have drawn the potion there, and drawing the potion wouldn't have been good. So there's a monument in the top 3 cards, and there's another monument in the deck. That'll help me hit possession. Okay, take the monument. Have to take the copper here. So another copper succeeds if we don't find the monument. Okay, we do find the other monument, so this is just going to be a possession buy. The next turn we have trader top decked. We can either trader a squirrel or like trash and just buy something cheap to be another squirrel. It all depends. Meanwhile, they have the potion. They have not bought a possession. Okay, they're still only at warrior, yeah, because they didn't open page, so even though we bottom decked the page, it didn't seem like they had it as much of a priority. Okay, they take the native village, and again, I don't think native village is great against possession. Okay, just take the possession here. Take the possession. The question is now, do we want to trader a copper or trader a squirrel? I think trading with copper is fine. Because what are we buying? We're just buying a dummy for squirrel anyway. They have a giant, but we have champion in play, so that's of course not an issue at all. Oh, and we will get their 5 coin turn here. Ooh, so we can buy another possession. Okay, let's turn off always top deck. And now that'll mean that their border guards don't top deck. No, I don't want a changeling. Why would I buy possession if I don't want a changeling? And discard, because we don't want them to top deck the border guard. Yeah, so now we're just very ahead. Actually, they do hit possession here, so of course it's not over. But we are very ahead. Okay, we want to find our possessions, and then we can play stuff as squirrel. Until then, we're just playing our stuff for draw. This is a bad stuff to reveal. Possession is good. Can we find the other possession? Cannot. So we find the monument. Yeah, if we found the trader, we could consider trashing here. Do we squirrel the monument, or do we play it? They have a possession, so squirreling becomes less appealing once they do. I think I'm just going to take the monument. Monument's just such a good card, of course. Everybody knows monument is a great card. If you don't think monument is a great card, you're obviously in denial, right? All right, they don't have their champion yet. And again, I have to remember that I played only one possession. Just don't exchange this, and I can take a changeling off it. Okay, just making sure the autoplay is off. So now this time, I do want the changeling instead of the gold. And just buy another monument. Keep, discard, execute. So still only have 2 possessions in the deck. One is in hand, but one of them is in the remaining 4, so it's pretty likely that, okay, they find the possession. That's unfortunate. But like, what are they going to do on my turns? They can't play the monument. Are they going to play the trader to flood their deck with changelings or silvers? They can't play the possession. And if they played a squirrel, playing it as squirrel is only good if they double possess me, but they're not double possessing me. Are you forced to take the lantern and the horn? You are. Okay. So they have to give me one of them. That's funny. So what are they going to do? Just trade the possession and take a bunch of stuff? Oh, you do not want to be playing possession on my possession turns. Uh-oh. Someone is new to possession. As you can see, possession was on their ban list, so they don't know this interaction, but you really, really don't want to play your opponent's possessions on their turns as possessions, because then they get an extra turn with your deck. If they ask for an undo, I will grant it. This is not a mistake you want to be making. Do I still have all 3 estates? I could have sworn I killed one. Why do I still have 7 VP? I guess I still have all 3 estates. Huh. When did I gain silvers off trader? Oh, can't scroll up in the log, of course. Yeah, generally /undo and then clicking the dot on the screen works. I'm not sure why it wouldn't be working. Oh, okay, but they can still choose to play it as squirrel, which is of course still not great because they're not double possessing. But it's better than playing it straight up. Okay, so we know they have a trader in their hand thanks to that lag spike. Or it could just be me because I'm recording. For some reason when I record I'm like extremely laggy. I should try to fix that at some point, but it's probably just my computer limitations. Not something I can fix. I really want to hit 6 potion here, so finding the monument would be good. Do I play the possession or do I play the monument? And just buy a possession? I can changeling for the possession though, which is basically like buying a possession, so that seems better. Do I want the VP or the squirrel effect? They just played their possession, but I will be taking turns with their deck, so they could presumably find their possession again. So that is a little bit risky, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I will top deck though, of course it's also a bit risky, but I will take the risk. Let's give them the horn and not top a deck. I think at this point with my deck, I just want to be trashing coppers with Trader and playing Monument a bunch because possessing their deck doesn't actually give me too much on their turns. Which is an interesting dilemma. Of course, double possessing, then I can play stuff as Squirrel, which is good. But if I'm just single possessing, what am I doing with their deck? Not much. So what do I want to do with my own deck? Just trash my cards and play my actions, right? So I think now I'm just going to be taking Trader over everything else. But of course, border guards are sifting, so it's not that important. It's a bit of an interesting dilemma. That's the fun with possession. You get yourself into situations you wouldn't expect to, and you find yourself thinking. Okay, I don't want to trigger the shuffle because I just decided that my game plan is that monuments are very good cards. Of course, I said that from the very beginning, of course. I know monument is a good card, but my goal is now just to play a bunch of monuments, basically. Do I want to take pages to make them warriors? That can trash cards from their deck. I can play Treasure Hunter Squirrel or play Treasure Hunter to gain changelings. Treasure Hunter also doesn't do anything if they possess me, so I guess maybe that's better than more monuments, or do I just want to drain piles? I guess what's the third pile? The third pile is page regardless. It might just be worth it, but of course warrior then it isn't the third pile, right? I think I'll just take another monument. It's a tough decision. Not sure what the build's supposed to be. But yeah, obviously their giant game plan was not great. Okay, they get their second possession in. We have 3. Can I get a double possession turn so I can start using Wave the Squirrel? I would very much enjoy that. Fortunately, we cannot. But the monuments are great because when it's my turn, they don't want to play them unless they double possess me, in which case, like, any action would just be used as a squirrel there. Whereas if I just add the page to the deck, they can just play that as a cantrip. The question now is, do I want to buy a province on my turn? If I have the opportunity, just to take a VP lead. And that'll be an interesting dilemma. So if I play these border cards, the hope is to reveal the champion and make it miss their shuffle, or reveal possessions and make it miss their shuffle, so that's a fantastic draw. So yeah, let's just take the last monument. Yeah. Okay, they don't draw the champion yet. So I can hopefully possess them now and have them not play the champion. They do have native villages as villages. But of course, native village is worse than Necropolis on possession boards, I think. I'm still waiting for a double possession turn so I can use squirrels effectively. Okay. So I was wondering if the situation came up, would I province? I think I'm up enough VP, I don't need to province. The question is then, what is the third pile that I'm emptying? The problem with taking pages is then on my turn they can exchange the pages to treasure hunters, and then when they play my warriors they can exchange them to heroes, and those are dead cards. So pages are actually not great here. It'd be better if they were just a straight up cantrip rather than something you could exchange, because now it's harder to 3-pile, and also they become worse cards. I think I will just take a province. Like, what's the eventual game plan on this board? You're just building to province and monument points. How much more can you really expect to be doing? Okay, they do play their champion. I would like to play a turn with their native villages and put all their junk back into their deck. Okay, they're buying gold now. Gold is not a very good card. Maybe Changeling can just be the third pile? We'll see. I don't have any advanced plans. Okay, we will get a triple possession turn. Horn. It's a tough choice. We will get a triple possession turn and they just play their champion, so now we can use the squirrel stuff to our advantage. I will take the Changeling here. Alright, so we possess them 3 times. So we can play squirrels on both the first turn and the second turn, but not on the third turn. Okay, so first turn, we are not going to be playing any squirrels. We're just going to take a Changeling. I don't think I want too many Changelings in my deck at once, but 2 should be fine. Yeah, sure, I'll exchange a change for a Changeling. Thanks, game. I don't know why that prompt came up. Probably a possession bug, and Steph doesn't think about possession during his daily life. So he's like, huh, what the heck is possession? I don't know. I don't know why it's giving me the option to reconsider when I'm clicking on the squirrel button. It really shouldn't, but that's okay. Okay, draw 11 cards. Now this turn, don't play anything as squirrel and just buy province. Okay, play, set aside, play, set aside, play, set aside, play, pick up, and actions by province. And I'll keep it as a page, but I'm not convinced about that, whether I want it to be a treasure hunter or not, because like I said I wanted a 3-pile on Changelings, but treasure hunter in their deck, like how many turns am I taking with their deck? They can change the treasure hunter and the warrior, then I can change the warrior into a hero. I don't know. too much thinking. I'm just going to have it stay as a page. Okay, I guess I will take the lantern. So I will take the border guard. It'd be nice to find a possession. Guess I'll just take the monument. So any coins here is province. Treasure hunter is coins. And it can gain changelings. Okay, play all the monuments and buy another province. I think that's enough provinces for now. I should just focus on that changeling thing. And with the 31 VP cushion, I should have enough time. These are pretty atypical boards. Like, there are no normal engines, right, on any of these boards. There's no board where it's like, oh, it's a normal engine. I guess the first one you could call it's just a normal Silk Merchant Groundskeeper game. But like if this were a real game, you'd be using Squirrel a lot, but Possession messes that up. So that's very fun. Maybe I should have taken the Treasure Hunter there. Like I said, I had enough of a VP cushion. Yeah, whatever. That's fine. We're up 29 VP. Just need to empty 4 changelings from the supply. Yeah. Okay, yeah, they're hitting province, but that's not even close to enough. Okay, we take the changeling here, and we should win. Possession and monuments. Changeling for changelings, buy a changeling. And then on their turn, all we need to do is gain a changeling somehow. Okay, yes, I would like a changeling. Yes, I would like a changeling. Top deck, why not? Turn off that autoplay, of course. Okay, we draw the gold. Alright, so that's 4-0. Normal engine possession games, but this one was pretty fun. Got to play with Monument heavily. The Cultist game was not very fun. The first one was okay, and the second one you have to realize that junky kingdoms are not ones for rebuild, are not ones for possession, and just rebuild egg is gonna smack that. So I think I read these boards fine. The draws in the first game were not great, but I think I played well. Of course, like towards the end of this one, I got pretty lost, but I was far enough ahead that I was able to win. So yeah, some endgame play I could clean up, but of course, always going to be happy with a 4-0 result. And yeah, I'll hope to schedule my next few matches. Thanks everyone for listening or watching, and enjoy your day.